Hey guys, Ragnarok54 here, and welcome to this new video, and maybe to become a new series. I'm not really sure on that yet. What it is I've noticed that a lot of when you search for a RuneScape money making guide, a lot of them, they're not always accurate, and I understand why that is, because maybe people want to make it seem like it's a better method, so that it seems like they know all the great methods where you can make a lot of money fast. You know, maybe if it's like a 750k hour per hour method, they'll say like 1 mil an hour method or something like that. Or maybe it's because they actually can get that, but only because they're maxed or something, and people that are maxed wouldn't be using those money making methods anyways. So I decided, I'm not sure if anyone's already done this, so if they have, I'm not like copying them. I just came up with this idea randomly last night when I was trying to fall asleep. It's kind of like I'll go through the common money making methods and test their real money per hour, and maybe XP per hour if that also is gained in the process. So for example, in this video I'll be doing blue dragons. A lot of people do this method. It's recommended a lot. You can find a lot of guides on YouTube. So I decided to actually test it out and find out what the real money per method is. Money per hour is. So I'm going to be doing, I was thinking I might change this up as I'm doing it if I see that it's not good, but I'm going to be using this setup. It's kind of like a poor setup. It costs almost nothing. It's pretty basic. Almost everyone has this for the first like 30 minutes maybe. And then for the rest of the time I'll be using kind of like the not max, but pretty close to it gear. So I know all of you guys probably don't have this kind of gear, and that's why you're looking for money making methods such as this. So that's why I'm using both. This is probably a bit extreme on the low end, but you never know. And so my range level is only 84, yeah, 84. That may be higher than some people, but I can't account for everyone. So I'm also going to be using a war tortoise when I do the high level one, and a spirit terror bird pouch when I'm doing the lower one. So the levels required for this, the war tortoise is 67. As you can see here, war tortoise is 67, while the terror bird is only 52. And if you don't have 52 summoning, then I'm sorry, but this method, it's probably going to be a bit inaccurate, but whatever. So I will get to it, and I will get back with you guys when I'm done. So the place I will be killing these blue dragons at is going to be the Towerly Dungeon. As you can see, they are located right here. We can see these on the world map. They're right to the right of the entrance of the Towerly Dungeon. My map would load, and here we go. So here's the entrance right here, and as you can see, right to your right is the blue dragons. You can't see it really well, but there is an agility shortcut right there, as you can see. So if you have 70 agility, which I understand that not everyone has, you can do this method a lot more efficiently. I would almost recommend not doing this method if you don't have 70 agility, but this is not a money making guide. This is a test to see how much money it actually makes. So if you don't have 70 agility, you can still do this by following a trail and going all the way down here to the Black Knight's base and obtaining a key, which then in turn allows you access to the blue dragons through this gate. But as you can see, every time you want to get there, you have to go all the way around here instead of just going through this shortcut. So if you want to know how to obtain that key, it's actually called the Dusty Key. You can go to the link in the description, or I'm sure you can look up a guide on YouTube. There's probably a lot in every single blue dragons guide. As you can see, there are a few people in here. I'll just go in here real quick. I do have 70 agility, as you can see, exactly. There is quite a few people in here, and it would make for very inefficient training. So you can either hop to like a French world. I have some French, or like a foreign world, or you can hop over here if you have 60 to engineering, and go into the mysterious entrance. So the first time you do this, it'll give you 7k experience, so that's pretty nice. And as you can see, there is one person in here, but that's not a very common occurrence. So there aren't, the dragons aren't near as concentrated in here, but there is hardly ever anyone in here. As you can see, there's just a bot in here, which you can probably easily still steal kills off of. So I think I'm going to be doing the money making method in here, and if it's too slow, I'll just switch over to the French world. Alright, so I'm going to do probably 30 minutes, I think, as on this account, and then I will do 30 minutes on the same account, just different stuff. So I'll be back to you guys then. Alright guys, so I finished the low level method, low level gear setup for 30 minutes. I did do it with a Spirit Terror Bird, which pouches are relatively inexpensive, so I'm not going to add that into the cost. I was surprised that I only ended up using, here I'll show you guys how many bolts I used. I only ended up using like 50 bolts, like 49 bolts the entire time because of the Avas, so, and I didn't pick up any, so that's pretty awesome. So those cost me almost literally nothing, and I managed to kill 59 dragons. And if the wiki is not lying to me, because I forgot to use the XP thing, 59 times 289.8 experience per kill gives me 17k XP. So obviously this is not exactly the best experience per hour, but obviously it's not meant to be experience, it's meant to be money. So let's see what we did get. I'm just going to dump these. And wow, that kind of sucks. As you can see, I did get an Addy ore, and I got a hard clue scroll. I went to go do that to see if I could get lucky, and I had to go into the fishing guild, and I have 61 fishing, so that kind of sucks. Let's see what these sell for. Oh wow. Okay, that's okay. I'm just gonna sell them for that. Wow, that's a lot less. So I'm sure if you waited long enough, you could probably get a tiny bit more, but you obviously could not get the market price no matter how long you wait, unless you're planning on waiting like a few days. That sucks, wow. That's not as bad. I'll just sell it for this. Alright, so I'll get back to you guys when these things actually sell. Alright guys, so I came back after about like 2 minutes because I realized I don't actually have a life, so I can't do anything besides play RuneScape, so I just decided to dump them, and one of them had sold, but so I got 309k. So I'm gonna say that the costs were nothing, because they essentially were, unless you're counting the gear, but I don't really count gear. Around 310k. So that means that if you multiply that by 2, because I did do this for half an hour, that is 620k an hour. So I've seen a lot of guides that say that it's a lot more than this, when in reality it's only 600k an hour. I think the main reason for this is that people are very high level with very high level gear that show the guides on this, and that they only price check it and don't actually sell it. Because as you could see, I had to sell it a lot under price. But you also have to take into account how much you would have made if maybe they were at market price. So I'm going to do that real quick with my calculator. Dragon bones. So I got 58 dragon bones, and if they were at market price, I would have made, I think it will be a significant amount more. 170k. And let's try this blue dragon hide. Okay, so it's not even that much more. Wow, that's That's surprising, but that's kind of a good find, I think. So if I would have, if they would have sold for market price, then I would have gotten 600, around 700k an hour. So, well, that's a weird glitch. So that means that this method is nowhere near 1 mil an hour with the gear I was using, which is probably the gear you guys will have. And even if you guys do have a little bit better gear, maybe you don't have as high range level. I was not using any potions or anything because I don't want to add in that extra cost. So yeah, with the lower level, it is around 700k an hour if it was market price, but unfortunately is only around 620k per hour. And I forgot this, I think it's also worth noting that while I was killing the dragons, I did manage to get a Marid lamp pot, so I'm not sure if that's worth anything to you guys. I think these are going away soon, but I did get one of those. That's the only thing I got that was worth anything, and also I was not picking up charms at all, so my entire inventory and familiar was filled with them. Alright, so now I'm going to go do the high level setup. This is my gear setup. Full Armadillo Archer's Ring, Zerite Bow, Skill Cape, and Amulet of Ranging. I'm going to be using Prayer, obviously, because I don't have an anti-dragon shield. I'll see how much I actually have to use that, because I might be killing them so fast that I don't even need it. I'm using a War Tortoise pouch. It's also worth noting that I only summon my pouch when I have a full inventory, so that I can use them longer, although for the sake of it, I don't actually need to do that because I'm only doing it for half an hour. I summoned the Terror Bird at the end of my first inventory, and I didn't have to summon another one for the entire duration, so you don't need to be worrying about bringing multiple pouches. Alright, so I'll go do this method for half an hour, and I'll get back to you guys when I'm done. Alright guys, so I'm back from my 30 minutes of high level things. I still only got in 3 trips, but as you can see I got quite a few more kills. I did sacrifice some bones for some hides because I could bury the bones, and I'm not really sure they're worth about the same. So I got another hard clue scroll. I didn't do any of it this time because the very first step requires morning ends part 1, and I'm not going to do that, so goodbye. I also got another lamp piece. It was the Vettel lamp pot, and I don't have any of the Vettel pieces, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, I did get another one of those, so I can add that to my collection of lamp items. I have some of these. So, I did get 83 kills. So if we do our calculator, 83, and I think it's 289. It is. Oh wait, whoops. 289.8, I think it was. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I closed the page. That is 24k XP. So once again, that's not it's not a very good experience getting method. So I will sell them now and get to the money, which I'm sure is the part everyone cares about. I'm just gonna dump these again so that I don't have 2 different results from the last one. Hopefully they didn't crash even more. Okay, that's good. And let's sell those. So last time I got 309k. Put that in the bank. Alright, so this time, right off the bat, I can see I made quite a bit more money, almost 100k more. The trips were just going by so fast. I got inventories extremely quickly. I did end up using 2 super restores, but that did not cost me too much. I'll see how much that actually was. 3.7k. I'll just so it's more accurate, but that is literally, oh, someone texted me, sorry, but that's literally all I used. And so if I just put this back in the bank, 417k. So that means that I made around 820k in an hour if I were to keep doing this method. However, the War Tortoise pouches are slightly more expensive than the, not slightly, quite a bit more expensive than the Terror Bird pouches. As you can see, I already had both of these, so I'm not sure how much I paid. I think I paid around 8k for these. So it's a bit less, so it's more like 800. Just to be safe, I'd go with 800k an hour, but I probably could have done better. This guy came and randomly started stealing my kills, so that kind of sucked. I could probably get a good 825k an hour after costs with this. Obviously, you do have to take into account that I use my Zerite bow, but I've used this quite a bit, and I still haven't even used 1% yet. So that's a really good deal. So after everything, I've concluded that the real money per hour for blue dragons, you have to take into account that I have 84 ranged. For the kind of welfare method, you can expect to get around 120 kills an hour, which is approximately, at today's market value on the GE, that is approximately 620k per hour, which is not bad. However, if you do this with almost the max gear that I can personally wear, besides Pernix, you can get more around 850k per hour, which is very decent. So overall, I would rank this money-making method as a medium good method. You can probably expect to get somewhere around 700k if you're kind of in between these. Maybe you have Armadil but you don't have a Zerite bow. That really does help, and if you do have a Royal crossbow, that will help even more as they are weak to bolts. So, yeah, that is all for this video. If you guys want to see more in this series, I could do a lot of different videos for this, because there are a lot of common money-making methods that maybe people think are bad, but they're good, or vice versa. So, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.